So we're sitting here with Uplift North Hill senior Jessica Santos. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you doing?
We're doing well over here. Tell us a little bit about, I guess, your journey through North Hills. When did you start? How was that?
This is my seventh year at North Hills. I've been here since I was in the sixth grade, and I think it's been a very interesting experience being in the same school for such a long time.
That's awesome. So you came here through sixth grade. So North Hills is a K through 12 campus. So you were somewhere else in Irving before. So how was that experience coming from an ISD school to North Hills?
I think that it was an interesting shift, and I ended up adapting to it very well. I realized that the block schedule was something I really liked, and having different teachers teaching different subjects was something I acclimated very well to.
So with those different subjects, I'm sure you had like a favorite. So what were some of your favorite subjects?
Math has always been one of my favorite subjects, and then once I reached high school, I realized I liked chemistry a lot.
Oh, chemistry. That's hard. That's never been one of my strong suits. I've been more of like an English guy, but that's really, really awesome. So like what do you feel draws you to, I guess, more of like the logical side?
Well, for me, I'm a very linear thinker. I don't see too much of the creative side, which is why I tend to struggle a little more with English. But for me, chemistry was something that just happened to click for me because I think it was the perfect mix of the mathematics side as well as some concepts that I really meshed with.
Since North Hills is one of our older schools, there are a lot more traditions and a lot more activities. So what else were you involved in outside of school?
Well, this year actually I've been going to a lot more events, especially senior events. For example, senior night for basketball was a couple of months ago, and that was actually my first basketball game that I went to. And I had a lot of fun, and there's been traditions such as senior week actually that are upcoming to the last week of school for us that I'm extremely excited for. So I think senior year for me has been a lot of fun because I've been getting a lot closer to the people in my class.
Fantastic. Talk to us a little bit about senior week. Like, what are some of the activities you guys get? Do you guys get pretty wild and crazy?
The itinerary for senior week isn't finalized, but we know we're at least having a Six Flags day, we're having a senior sunrise, we're having a lake day, and a water balloon fight.
Oh, that's
all
gonna be
wow.
amazing.
That's gonna be fun. Were you involved in any other like extracurricular activities, anything after school? Maybe any clubs or groups that you would always attend?
This year I wasn't as involved, but in the past I was in DECA, and it was initially known as the Distributive Educational Clubs of America, and I think it's a really good program to have at the school. One of my friends, my freshman year, approached me and asked me if we would like to restart the school's DECA chapter because several years prior the seniors had abandoned it and it wasn't an active club anymore, so him and I took on that challenge, and our sophomore year we started running it, and I was vice president my sophomore year and then president junior year, and then passed on this year, and elections were already held, and there's a junior that was named as president. So I think it's really exciting to see that it's still going.
That's super cool. And so, kind of, what do y'all do for DECA? I know I was in DECA in high school, so we kind of had a store. We sold, like chips and like clothes and our school stuff. What do y'all do here for DECA?
With DECA, we would hold fundraisers every other month, and one that I thought was really fun was for the fall festival last year. We had a stand where there was ping pong balls and there were balloons pinned up against a wall, and people had the opportunity to pop them and get prizes, and we used that as a fundraiser for DECA, and I thought that was a really fun fundraiser.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit more about you, like your background, where do you come from, your family, and all that stuff. So tell us a little bit how it is at home, how, do you have brothers, sisters? How's that for you?
I have two younger siblings. One of them, my brother, is a freshman, and I have a little sister in the first grade. Both of them are at North Hills.
Cool. So are you a first generation college student?
Per the standards of the United States, I am, because my mom was educated in Mexico and she received her bachelor's degree there, so in the United States that counts as me being a first generation student.
Cool. What did your mom study in Mexico?
She studied accounting and actuarial sciences, so she's the one that passed on a little bit more of the math left brain to me.
Cool. And is she excited for you to go into like chemistry since that's kind of what you chose?
She's excited for me, but it's not her realm. She never really explored the sciences that much, so she's excited for me, but she's unfamiliar with what I'm going into.
Let's talk a little bit about what you're going into. Where have you been accepted into college?
Well, I've been accepted into several schools, but the one that I've commit to is the University of Southern California for chemical engineering.
Beautiful state, beautiful campus. That is a beautiful school to go to, but it's also expensive. Did you get any good financial aid packages?
So when I received my acceptance letter, on the second page of the letter there was a paragraph that said, "Congratulations, you've been considered as a finalist for the full tuition scholarship." And an interview was required, so at the end of March, I flew out to LA and I had an interview, and I got a letter about 2 weeks ago saying I got the full tuition scholarship and I got a living stipend. But additionally, for the engineering school, they also use that full tuition interview for this program known as the Viterbi Engineering School Fellowship, and I was named a Viterbi Fellow. And with that, I get an additional living stipend, and I get study abroad paid, and I get additional consideration for the progressive degree program.
Just basically getting paid to follow your dreams, essentially. So how does that feel?
Like you were saying, it's a dream come true. And after I had my initial interview with the USC representative that came to Dallas, I fell in love with the school and I realized I won't be happy unless I go here. And I kept on working. I put so much effort into my application and especially into the supplement to it that I got the opportunity to go and to be interviewed, and luckily I got the scholarship.
Yeah, because it's like full tuition. We know like how much that saves you, but how much was USC's tuition going in?
This year it was calculated at a little over $55,000 for 1 year. So.
And that's $55,000 you will not be paying. So that is absolutely amazing.
How did your family feel about you getting that full ride?
They were extremely excited for me and extremely proud of me because they knew how hard I had been working and how determined I was to go there no matter what the cost. And for me, the ultimate cost was putting in an extreme amount of effort into the application and into the interview whenever I went.
Yeah, I'm sure they feel like very relieved that they're not going to have to pay $55,000 for you to go to school for 1 year. 'Cause that's just a 1 year cost.
Well, that's only the tuition. The cost of
that's
attendance this year was a little over $75.
Yeah.
That's pretty pricey, but getting the living stipends and additional research paid, and especially the full tuition.
That's super cool. I kind of want to touch base a little bit back on how you said that you got a scholarship for study abroad. So tell me a little bit about, maybe have you thought about it? Where do you want to go study, and what does that come with?
I really want to go to Israel. That's somewhere that I think is a very important place in terms of the global scene and history, but luckily the USC Viterbi School of Engineering has a sister school over there that they partner with, so I think I'm planning on studying a semester there. I think Israel, and in particular Jerusalem, is a very important place because the three major religions of the world, being Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, all claim holy sites in Jerusalem, so I think it'd be a beautiful opportunity to go and explore and see these extremely monumental places because it holds such an important place in the world.
Cool. And you talked about interviews and kind of preparing yourself for that application. How do you feel RTC has helped you out with that, or what do you think they have done to kind of help prepare you for this?
I think that RTC has done a really good job with allowing us to connect with different college representatives and presenting us with different opportunities to speak with college representatives, and that's definitely helped. And they've done that since our junior year, so coming into senior year, it was a good weight off the shoulders knowing I already had some experience speaking with college representatives.
That's cool. And you've gone through such a long process and you've worked extremely hard to get to where you're at today. What advice would you give some upcoming seniors for the following years?
I think that for seniors, it's important to, one, follow your dreams, and that means in terms of school, but also in terms of what you want to study, because throughout my college application experience, I've noticed that colleges find it's extremely important for a student to be focused. And I understand I'm a very rare case to where I know exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life, but even if you don't, I think as a student, it's important to have a good general idea of at least a field that you want to go into and be passionate about it, because colleges really like to see that.
What are you most excited for your first year at USC?
Well, something I'm very excited about was a special day that occurs at USC every year in the fall, and large companies and corporations from across California come and set up booths throughout the central strip of campus, and freshmen through seniors are allowed to go and seek out interviews and internships and job opportunities. So it's something I'm extremely excited about, because when I went to USC for the interview, I was speaking with the senior there, and she was telling me her freshman year, even though she was brand new to USC, she got an internship opportunity with Microsoft. She had gotten internships with them since her freshman year, and now as a senior, she secured a job with Microsoft. So I feel like that's something I really want to do as well.
you've put in the work, but
Mhm.
now it's time to reap those benefits. So let's talk college signing day. How are you feeling about that?
I'm extremely excited. I want to go out with the bang, so I'm going to go probably face painted. I'm going to have one of my friends probably wearing a USC banner and decked out completely head to toe with me just to be my little Trojan, because I asked the school if I could borrow the mascot and they told me no, so I'm going to have to make my own.